Good morning children, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. Okay, this law was proposed by Lavoisier, scientist Lavoisier. He proposed this. So this law states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed, in a chemical reaction. Okay, so matter can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. That means during the chemical reaction, in other terms, we can say that in a chemical reaction, the total mass of the reactant is equal to the total mass of the product. Suppose if a chemical reaction, we can write the chemical reaction like this: A plus B, these two are the products which will give, these are the reactant A and B, these two are the reactant which will react together to produce C and D. This we will call as products. Okay, now during this process, during this chemical process, the total mass of reactant, that means the total mass of A and B, will remain fixed, and that will be equal to the total mass of C and D, that is the products. Sorry. So this is the law of conservation of mass. Now actually after this, the law of conservation of mass, so this afterwards we will see that this is actually the law of conservation of mass and energy. That means the total mass and energy will remain fixed. Okay, but first we will learn this. This is the law of conservation of mass. Now we have some experimental verification of this. So in activity we are going to do this. So what we will do, in a closed container, we are going to perform a chemical reaction, and before the reaction and after the reaction we will measure the mass. We will weight the mass of this reactant and the product. After the reaction, before the reaction we will weight the mass of this reactant, and after the end of this reaction we are going to again weight that, and there we will get the mass of the product, and there we have to see whether this two mass will equal or not. Okay, the total mass of the reactant and the mass of the product is matching or not. Okay, so this we are going to do in activity 5. Activity 5. Okay, so here any reaction we can take. We have chosen a precipitation reaction where we can observe the color or the changes are visible, and very prominent changes we are going to get here. So what the reaction which we have taken here, that is barium chloride. This is barium chloride, BaCl2. Along with this we are going to take sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. Okay, barium chloride and sodium sulfate, this two, suppose this we are saying as A and this is B, and after this reaction we are going to get this. They will interchange the radicals. That means barium will combine with sulfate, so we are going to get barium sulfate, BaSO4. This as white precipitation. This is a white precipitation. Okay, and along with this we are going to get sodium chloride in solution. Okay, 2NaCl. This is the balanced equation for this reaction. Now this is A, this is B if we say, and this we can say as C, barium sulfate, and sodium chloride as D. Okay, suppose this is D and this is C. Okay, so these are the reactant and these two are the product. Now how we will perform this reaction? We have to take this solution, barium chloride, where any of the solution we can take in the conical. So let me draw this. Okay, in this conical, suppose this is the conical flask. With the cork we will close this, and through this we will introduce the another test tube, small test tube, and here we have taken another solution. That means in the conical we can take sodium sulfate. Here we are taking the sodium sulfate, any of this two, or we can take barium chloride also, and the other one we will take in this small bottle, glass bottle. Okay, this is barium chloride. Okay, so now at this point we will measure the weight. We will weight this and say this is suppose 20.65 grams. Okay, this is approx. Okay, this is let's see this one. Or we can take it as x grams. Okay, x is the mass, suppose before the reaction. Okay, now at this stage we have measured the mass. Now after this, what we will do, we will break this, or in any manner we will open up this bottle, and so that the two solutions can get mixed together. Okay, so barium chloride will get mixed with sodium sulfate, and the reaction will go on. After this reaction, when the reaction completes, the barium chloride will convert to barium sulfate, and sodium sulfate will convert to sodium chloride. So after this end of this reaction, again we will we are going to weight this full setup with the conical thread and everything, and there also we will see the mass will remain fixed at x grams, means the mass will be same only. Okay, so from this experiment we can prove that law of conservation of masses, this is true. That means the before the reaction and after the reaction, the mass of this reactant and the product will remain same. Okay, it will match. So this is one experiment. Another experiment which we can do for this. Now for the next activity, we are going to work with vinegar, that is acetic acid, and baking soda. These two are available at your home, so you also can do this experiment at your home. Okay, so for this we need a Ziploc bag. In a Ziploc bag, this is activity 6. Activity 6. For this we need a Ziploc bag. We need some vinegar or acetic acid, which we use in our kitchen. This is available in our kitchen, so that you can use from there, and baking soda. Okay, that is sodium bicarbonate. Now, how we will do? Let us write down the reaction which will going to happen here. Which is going to happen, that is sodium bicarbonate. This is baking soda. Sodium bicarbonate, this is baking soda. Along with this, we are taking vinegar, that is acetic acid, CH3COOH. This is vinegar. or acetic acid. Okay, when these two reacts together, we will get a strong effervescence or fizzy sound, and the products which we will get, that is sodium acetate. This is a salt. Sodium acetate, this is a salt, along with carbon dioxide, CO2. For this we are going to get the bubbles or the effervescence or the fizzy sound. This is for this evolution of carbon dioxide gas along with this water. Okay, so this is the reaction which we are going to observe here. Okay, now let us perform the reaction. In a Ziploc bag, we are going to take some vinegar or acetic acid. This is the Ziploc bag. Okay, here the acetic acid or vinegar we are taking. It's in liquid form. Okay, and in this, in a small in a paper, we will put some baking soda, and carefully we have to keep it in this. Okay, and at this stage we are going to measure the weight. We need to take the weight. Say this is g grams, okay, or w grams. Suppose w is the weight before the reaction. Okay, now carefully we are going to mix this two, that is baking soda. We will mix the baking soda in the vinegar, and quickly we have to lock the zip of the bag. Okay, so that any gas which will evolve, that cannot come out from the bag. So at this stage we have to again we have to wait this. Okay, when these two will get mixed together, we will get the bubbles. Vigorous reaction will happen, and we will get a effervescence or fizzy sound from this. That means the reaction is taking place. Okay, after this, we will wait for some time. We will let the reaction go on and let it to complete, and then again we will measure the weight. Okay, at that point of time also we will get the weight as w gram only. Okay, same, the w gram, that means the before the reaction and after the reaction the weight will remain same. So here one thing you have to see, you must notice that in this reaction we are not measuring the weight of the reactant or the product only, but the containers or wherever we are performing the reaction, the weight of those substances also include in this. Okay, so that is same for in both the cases, for reactant and the product. That's why this will not affect it, so it will cancel actually. Okay, the weight of this in the last activity, in the conical flask or thread or cork or whatever things we have used, the same was there in the in both the side, in the reactant side and in the product side, so that will not matter. So here also the same thing. That means from this two experiment, from this two activity, what we have observed, that during this chemical reaction, the mass of the product and the mass of the reactant will remain same, that will not change. Okay, that means in before the reaction and after the reaction, the mass of the reactant and the products will not change. That means law of conservation of the mass is will be conserved in this. Okay. Now there are some reactions where apparently it is observed that the mass is not conserved. That means during the reaction, that means before the reaction and after the reaction, the mass of the product and the reactant are not matching. Okay, but actually if we see properly, if we see the facts properly, then we will observe, we will see that the mass is being conserved in those reactions as well. Okay, so the first reaction, which is a very common reaction, that is burning of wood or paper. So in this reaction, what happens? Burning of wood or a piece of paper. So what we are going to observe here, suppose we have taken a piece of wood or something. So what happens here, if we take a piece of wood and if we burn it, we will get ash. Along with this, carbon dioxide and water. Okay, now this two will get mixed in atmosphere, so we cannot measure its mass and all. So what we are going to get in hand, that is the ash. So always we will observe the mass of wood is will be greater than that of the ash. Okay, so for this, apparently we can say that the law of conservation of mass is not it's not followed here. But actually, if we count or if we measure the total mass of the ash along with carbon dioxide and water, which is evolved during this process, so wood will here also we have to add oxygen. Wood will it will react with oxygen, it will get combined with oxygen, and then we are going to get ash, carbon dioxide and water. So this wood plus oxygen, the mass of this, the total mass of this wood and oxygen will match with the total mass of ash, carbon dioxide and water. So if we measure this two properly, then we will, here also we can observe that the W1, that is the mass of wood and oxygen, the total mass of wood and oxygen will, okay, the total mass of wood and oxygen, this two will be same with the total mass of this ash, carbon dioxide and water, which is W2. So here also W1 equals to W2, that is law of conservation of mass is followed. Okay, this reaction is also following the law of conservation of mass. Another reaction which there also apparently it is same, it's seem to not to observe this, not to conserve the law of it's not matching with the law of conservation of mass, or the mass is not conserved in this reaction. That is, this is apparent, but actually in this case also we will see that if we take the total mass of the reactant and the product, then here also this law is valid. Okay, that is the burning of magnesium. Okay, burning of magnesium ribbon. Okay, which we will say as Mg. Okay, in this reaction, if we magnesium ribbon, when it burns, after this reaction we are going to get the ash of magnesium oxide. Okay, so Mg plus O2, we are going to get MgO. So magnesium, the ribbon which we have taken as in the reactant side, and the ash or the product which we are getting after the reaction, that is the magnesium oxide, the ash white mass of this. So if we measure this two only, then the mass of magnesium ribbon will be always greater than that of the, is always less than that of the magnesium oxide or the white mass which we are going to get here. So apparently if we say the mass of magnesium, that is W1, and the magnesium oxide W2, so here we will observe that W2 is greater than W1 always. But here we are not counting the mass of oxygen which is getting get combined with the magnesium. Okay, so if we, this is suppose W1 dash, if we say. Okay, so we have to actually, the reactant, total reactants are magnesium and oxygen. This, both of these two are there. Okay, so we are not counting the magnesium oxygen apparently, which is getting combined with magnesium. So if we do that, that means W1 plus W1 dash, this will be equal with this W2. Okay, just a second. So the total mass, the total of this will be equal with this W2 now. Okay, so apparently it was showing that the law of conservation of mass is not, this reaction is not following that, but actually in actual practice it's following the, in this reaction, in this case also, the law of conservation of mass is, this holds good. Okay, that means here also we are, the law of mass is conserved in this reaction. Okay, so for this kind of questions may come. So for any reaction we can give it in this manner. So if we take all the reactant and the product together, then always we will follow the law of conservation of mass. All the reactions are following the law of conservation of mass. So this was, here we have finished the chapter. You just go through this properly, the reactions which are there that you practice, and next day we are going to start the exercise of this chapter. Okay, till then, take care.